What's up, guys? It's Jonathan and
Christian, and we are the Brothers in
Roofing.
That's right. Another day, episode 4.
No, we recorded 4 last year or last week.
It's been a hot minute. So we're on 5.
Five.
Episode 5.
And this is the legacy table
without the table.
I think that we're just gonna stick it. I think we decided, right?
It's funny because Chantel, she was like, "Do you guys need a table? I got you." And I'm like, I really like the offer, but I was like, but this might be a thing where we like to keep the slogan of the legacy table without a table. We might never get a table. Who knows? I'm not saying we will not, but
Right now, budget is not the best, if we were to say. So you guys are literally on the table right now.
Yeah, because we're not making the $100,000 for this podcast that we expected to make on episode 5. So
we've only released. We actually just went live with the second episode, which is nice, at 10 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, by the time you watch this,
it'll be
episode 4.
Yeah,
it's already out.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's exciting. I know. Weather today kind of sucks, so it's like, we were able to do some work, but not a lot. It's not safe to get on roofs today, so we're like...
Even though Chris did, shout out to Chris, you're a real one.
Yeah, man, you crazy. You need it. He skied down, or no, he snowboarded off that roof probably.
Probably, I don't know what he did, but he's crazy. I told him, like, hey, brother, you don't have to get on the roof for this. Like, he's doing me a solid. I messed up on one of my inspections, but that's what we would like to build, is a community where we all help each other. He was in the area. He said, I'll stop by and I'll check this out for you. It was just to grab a quick 3 measurements.
Yeah.
So I can quote something out correctly. But we've been in Loveland the entire time, and that was all the way down in Lakewood. So it's like hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
You could.
I'm just kidding. Here's a good blooper to start the video. But I think that's one thing that we don't talk about enough, or people don't realize, but we're on the road a lot. Like, we are. I think I put from May up until now, so it's been like 6 months. I think I put not 6 months, 7 months. I think I put is that right? No, June, July,
more.
August, September, October, November, December. 8 months almost. I think I've put 20,000 miles in my truck. So that tells you average, for what I know, is like 10 to 12. Like
a year.
Person a year. So I almost doubled that in less than a year. So we spent
I tripled it because I got 30,000. I did start a little bit before you.
Yeah.
So I have a full year already, and I put 30,000 on my truck.
But yeah, you guys don't see that, but we do spend a lot of time driving. Like the other day, I had a crazy route. Like in the morning, I had to go to Boulder. Then I went to Westminster. Then I went to Fort Morgan. And then sometimes the things that we don't expect, we got to pivot. We got to be ready. We got to almost like be prepared to be problem solvers on the spot. Because my inspector was supposed to show up at 1:30 in Fort Morgan. So I'm there. I got a call at 2, like, hey, running behind. I won't be there until 2:30. So I always like leave time in between stuff like that, just because you never know what could happen. Thankfully, that was the last thing of my day. But like in that case, I was done at 3 p.m. And then the homeowner had additional questions. I left Fort Morgan like around 3:15, 3:20. And it was an hour and 20-minute home drive or drive to my house. So, even though I started super early, I did the math, and I probably, out of the 8 hours that I was at and about that day, half of those were driving. Yeah.
And that's how it is, really. Like, if you're ever on a phone call with us, more than likely, there's I'd say 60% chance we're driving.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop there. And that's another thing. Like, sometimes, we are at least myself, sometimes the only time that I have free is like at 12 a.m. Mm-hmm. And I'm just getting all cut up with computer work, with estimates and stuff like that. This past couple of days has been, a little slow because of the weather, which has allowed me to get all cut up on those. But as you guys know, even though we're the brothers in roofing, but, I also own a photography business that with 3 kids, a full-time job, a business owner, present dad, present husband. sometimes, you know, you're running on like literally no downtime. Like,
And I'm just starting to get into this because I'm handling the whole podcast side. So I'm doing the editing,
I told Jonathan,
trying to
I'm
get
like,
some clips. You're helping me out a little bit, but he's mostly hands-on or hands-off.
yeah. I was honest. I'm like, I don't have capacity. If you're the one that edits,
And there's stuff that I'm learning along the way. Like I told him the first episode, I told you guys straight out, it's probably gonna be the worst episode you guys seen. But it's like, hey, I noticed these little things I didn't like. It was kind of grainy. The look wasn't just there.
and I call him and I tell him like, hey, dude, like I realize this, you know, like it's just like more, not necessarily like yelling at him, but it's like I noticed this, you know, just throwing it out there, like just like to get better at it, and we promise you, it's gonna get better as we do it more.
And then that's why we asked for feedback too. One of the great things was, it was crazy because it was the same day you pointed it out. He's like, hey, on the clips, maybe lower down the volume of the background stuff so you can hear of the music, so you can hear more of what we're saying. And then we got a comment from Vanessa. Shout out to Vanessa, and she stated it too. And most people would get salty. I'm not. Why? Because it's gonna help me grow and get better.
He did get salty with me though. He's like, yeah, I'm just kidding.
I'm like, no, yeah, I did notice it. But I told him it was weird, and he gave me some pointers like, hey, do it with headphones instead of doing it like this. Because when I was doing it like this, it sounded perfect. But then when you got headphones on, you can really check like, oh, you can't really hear what's going on.
And it's just distracting, you know, it distracts. But, you know, there's a lot of work, you know, that people don't see. All those videos that we do, you know, for when we're on roofs and stuff like that, it does take time. So we consider that part of our job. Like, we invest the time. Is not, eventually, hopefully one day we can, you know, be financially stable that we can afford to outsource that and have people do it for us. But at the same time, we want to be very intentional and very like really represent what like our approach, like who we are, because we feel that if we hand that off to someone else, it might change our vision, and we don't want that. We want to keep it real with you guys. We want to be ourselves. We want to be who we are, like Jonathan and Christian. Like, you guys might see those videos, and you know we freak out in front of the camera too. Yeah. But you know we're learning.
And you don't know how many takes we do when we record something, because we just start laughing in the middle of it. Like, what am I doing?
Yeah. I mean, I was just choking to death earlier in this video. But we should. I think I have some videos that I can do some clips of like the. The bloopers.
And I still have the raw, like the stuff you guys see that actually gets uploaded. We've cut out so much of it. And it's just like stupid little things that we're just...
But it gets better with practice. I feel like the first few videos, you can see that we're like talking serious. And I would even tell Jonathan, because Jonathan does this face when he's talking. And I'm like, dude,
I just got a RBF.
I was like, dude, like it was on mute, and I just saw the video, and I'm like, it sounds like you're just like... you know, talking to someone and just like pissed.
See, but then if you guys know me, I'm a comedian. I'm a big jokester. Like, I'll throw a joke, and it's bad because I'll throw a joke in really serious situations where I shouldn't be joking, and then I'm like, I feel bad. But I told them too. I was like, well, don't listen to it on mute, because if you listen to the actual,
look at it.
I was like, if you actually listen to the message, it's what he just explained. We're trying to build a community, be really intentional with what we do and what we offer, because ultimately it is us. You know, we want to take care of every single one of you, no matter what it be. Whether we're creating a video for you, or we're creating a helping you out on a home of yours, or a friend or a family member. It's like we're looking at you as if you are our family, as if you were a brother or sister of ours, you know?
Yeah, if you have any issues, you come to us. Like, that's our approach. It's been our approach, and I think, you know, most of the people that I've come across throughout my experience, whether it's at the bank and roofing, like, they really like that, and that's something that we stand by. So yeah, we're trying to build a community. But no, it's funny because like I think we have a lot of like, you know, bloopers. I deleted a lot of it because my phone, it got to the point that I was running out of storage because we had so many videos and photos for work. But I noticed, I look back and I'm like, all right, there is a difference. The first few videos, it's like harder. It would take us a lot of like planning. Okay, what are we gonna say? And that's more like natural. Like the other day, that video that I just put a few days ago, but if you guys are seeing this, it's probably a few weeks out already. But I just did a video on gutter screens, and literally I was getting on the roof and I saw the screens with a bunch of leaves, And basically the idea of the video was like to bring up, hey, even though if you have screens that cover your gutters, you still have to do a little bit of maintenance depending on the trees that you have around. But literally that idea came as I was going up. I looked and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna record a quick video. So then it became a lot easier because it was like I didn't have to really like plan the copy of what I was gonna say. It was just.
And one of the things we're getting better at too is we're big planners. We have such amazing ideas and such great ideas. But this year we're really focusing again on intentionality. And one of those things is being intentional with those ideas.
Writing them down
And taking action on them. Like, and that's one of the things where it's like you just like he got on the roof, saw the gutters, boom, record. Easy, informational, and you give information to your customers, to clients, to future clients, or even homeowners that don't even need us, but now they know. I'm like, oh, cool, I got this product. I actually have to go do this.
Yeah, and the thing is for me is the importance of that, because sometimes I'm gonna speak for myself, but especially when I was starting my photography business, my head was just full of ideas, and I was like, oh, this is good. Oh, this is cool. Like, I want to try it. Oh, this is cool. And then you have a list of like saved, like list of things that you will like to do. And it's nothing but that, great ideas. Then I realized, I'm like, all right, like out of those ideas, which ones am I actually
doing?
Yeah. Like where am I being intentional? Where am I taking action? And I'm like, shoot, like I can have a great idea, but if I never act on it, it means nothing. It's just a good idea, right? Now, it always comes with, what if it doesn't work? Then good, you can get it off the list and move on to the next thing. I think
that's the thing we're learning. It's like failure is okay because it teaches you lessons and it puts you in places where you never want to be again.
Yeah.
You grow from it.
And I feel like in this society, failure is looked at like you suck. Like it's instead of like you're actually trying, you're taking the risk. Now, if failure on the same thing becomes repetitive, then it's a choice.
Because what's that that famous saying? It's the definition of insanity is you continue doing the same thing over and over again or you continue failing at something over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
Yeah, right? and I think that's one thing. That doesn't mean that you give up on ideas, but like if it doesn't work out, then at that point it's like, all right, I tried this. My goal is still to achieve that. I just need to try it a different way. And then you do, and you try, and you try. And I think that's one thing that the way we get paid, like as subcontractors, or not subcontractors, like commission, you almost act as an entrepreneur. Like literally you see the results on the work that you put in.
Definitely.
So
sorry guys, I'm just pulling up that quote for you so I can actually say
I'll
what
wait
it
for
means.
you. That way you can cut it out. I'm waiting on Jonathan. He's on the spot. He needs to be prepared for these things. Waiting.
Never mind. I guess I put definition when it's not really in the definition. It's a quote, right?
He just made it up, so he's lying to you.
No, it's Einstein. Yeah, it was Einstein. So insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think with that is really well said. I think we really have that mindset of entrepreneurship of, at least me for my photography business, is like, I cannot be doing the same thing and expect different results. And this last 2 years in particular have been a game changer where I've been trying different strategies, bringing more value to what I do. And I actually see the results. Now, it takes time sometimes. And I think we live in a society full of like instant gratification. Like, oh, because I tried one thing, it must work and I should get the result. And it's like, no. And I think with that, one thing that we were talking is like, no wonder why not everybody can do this. No wonder why not everybody can open up a business, because it takes a lot of effort, a lot of consistency, a lot of failure, a lot of sacrifices. Like there are times, do I want to be in bed? Do I want to be playing video games maybe? I can tell you it's been years since the last time I played video games, because every little free time, I try to use it to get better in something. Or I try to invest it in my business. Or I try to get all cut up with stuff. Because, sometimes I feel like I take 3 steps forward, 5 steps back with, volume of work and whatnot. But
see, and then I just started playing again not too long ago. But it was that whole one of the things, it's like I rewarded myself with a little bit of gaming. Like I'll cut it to an hour of gaming if I have the time. If I don't, then I just don't. It is what it is. But it's like, cool. I'm gonna read my Bible. I'm gonna get into prayer. I'm gonna do something that's gonna help me better. And then if I do everything of that, then I reward myself with a little bit of time to do some pleasure.
That's where I have a hard time for myself. Because I get to the point where it's like, all right, even though I've done this, if I have free time to play a video game, can I use that free time to make more progress in my photography or learn a new skill? And it's where my mind just starts like, and I really have a hard time with that balance and just finding like.
And that's what I'm barely learning, that balance. And that's something that you, for one, said to me, and your sister, which is my wife, has said to me. Because for me, it's always been go, 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 go. I've never celebrated really any accomplishments. Because for me, my childhood was like, cool, you got that. What's next?
Yeah.
So I never got time to actually sit down and enjoy what I had. It was always boom, 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 boom. Always striving for something better, and it led to this area of unhappiness because nothing was ever enough.
Nothing is enough.
Yeah, nothing is enough. And that's something that I'm trying to change.
It's a dangerous place to be when you're in a situation where nothing is enough, because then, and I think I talked about it on the last podcast, like where I've seen videos of like entrepreneurship, you must never stop. Like there is no time for a work-life balance. But then there are times that I have to remind myself the reason why I'm a business owner and working a job where I have the flexibility is because I want to reward myself by being able to like spend more time with family, you know. It doesn't mean that we're just going to sit back and do that. There are times that, you know, we work long days. I mean, we were out in Nebraska back in April for a week away from our families.
Running 14-hour days.
14-hour days. So don't
more.
Don't get us wrong. We'll work when we have to.
We were out at 7 a.m. Yeah. And we weren't going to sleep till like 1 a.m.
Yeah, because we'll come back home and do, you know,
do all the computer office work. And then that's where it's nice. Like with us, it's like today's podcast really is going to talk about a little bit of testimony in our walk with God, right? Mm-hmm. And this is where it was like those times we would dedicate it. We were still on Bible study. Even if it was FaceTime, we do Bible study, and we got on Bible studies. We would pray. We would still do our walk with God before going to bed.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think for me, I can talk a little bit about mine, but I think what I definitely would like to do is for those who want to hear more in depth, I would like to personally, like in person, like I think to me, one thing that has helped me the most in my walk with God has been testimonies, like hearing other people just like, okay, like I'm not alone. Like I thought I was going through this stuff, and some of the stuff that me and myself in particular, and I look back and it's kind of like, it's shameful, you know. It's like, man, I can't believe I used to be like that. I can't believe I used to do this. I can't believe I used to do that. But then at the same time, I remember I'm not the same person. And actually, I was having a conversation with one of my real estate agents. I went to high school with him. His name is Andrew. Andrew, shout out to you, man. Andrew Lopez. Okay. We went to high school and we were talking about that, and it's like I hadn't seen him in a long time, and I'm like, man, like I know, like sometimes people has this idea of us, and to me it's crazy. I run into people that they're still on the same boat, and it's like, and it's fine, but at the same time, it's like a lot of people has this view of me, and it's like I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago. I'm not the same person that I was 5 years ago, much less 15 years ago.
You're not the same person you were last year.
Exactly. So I think people as adults now I have to apply the other way around, because sometimes we forget to give people the benefit of the doubt, and we remember who they were, and sometimes we got to remember that person might have changed. You know, I do believe in second chances 100%. But sometimes we shouldn't be expecting it to come this way only. Sometimes we gotta do the same. We gotta remember that people change, and they can change either way. People that were good to you, that you know they were good people, they could change.
Yeah.
And you know,
and that's one thing where I'm learning more, because I used to be a very prideful, egocentric person, where it's like if you screwed me over, you're done. You know, like you would never. And now it's more of that's what one thing that I've had really big in my walk with God is love. Like that's the thing that I take the most out of everything.
And
It's like,
forgiveness, man.
love
I think
is
forgiveness is hard.
yeah, but that comes with love. It's like, damn, I have to learn to love this person even though they screwed me over.
Do you know? And let me know your thought. I was actually having this conversation with my father-in-law the other day. We're talking about like forgiveness and how like the instant reaction for us human is like, I treat you the way you treat me. Like if you do me wrong, I'm gonna do you wrong, type of
Como
thing.
dicen the golden rule, an eye for an eye. See that? Do what you want.
No, the golden rule is treat
Do to
others the way
others.
you want to be
Yeah,
treated.
eso.
Yeah, but more on a positive note, right? Not necessarily on the negative. But I was like, and my aunt has taught me this, and you know, shout out to her because I see things in a different way. But forgiveness, a lot of the times we think forgiving someone, it's with the purpose of healing the other person, but in reality, we're the ones that heal. We're the ones that by genuinely forgiven, we let go of stuff. Like we get things off. We stop carrying things that we like emotionally, spiritually. So to me, forgiving, it's huge. And I was telling my father-in-law, I'm like, you know, you shouldn't, have that mindset of I'll treat you the way you treat me, because that's the beauty of it. When somebody treats you wrong, you have the choice and the power of being like, I can treat you the same way, or I can have mercy and show you love and treat you different, because that's what's going to make you better. At the end of the day, you, even though you have the right and all the arguments to treat someone the same way they did, and if you don't, you choose not to, that just says a lot about you as a person.
And we're
it
not
helps you
saying
grow.
it's easy.
No, it
It's
helps
not
you grow.
easy.
It's part of the growth.
Yeah, because that's one thing where I'm learning too, right? Like I said, we're constantly always learning, and if someone says they know it all, they don't.
Yeah.
And that's something to be very wary of, because that's one thing where in the Bible, God tells us, if they slap you, turn the other cheek and let them like slap you again. It's like, that's super hard to do. You know, that's super hard to do. If someone hurt you and say, okay, it's fine, I love you anyways, you can hurt me again. That's not easy.
And there's a fine line, of course, when you need to know and give yourself like, all right, this is hurting, or this is, but ideally the first reaction should be like, all right, I'm gonna take it like a champ, and move on. I think that talks more about like vengeance, not necessarily just always like take the hits. But there's times that you kind of have to do that.
Well, and then that's what I felt, right? Because I was like,
Yeah.
at first I'm like, so I just got to keep letting someone abuse me, you know? Not abuse me, but abuse me in the sense.
Yeah.
And then it's like, do I just got to keep like taking it? Like, no, I don't want to live like that. And then I asked your uncle and he explained it more. It's like, no, I'm like you. Because then he showed me another verse where it speaks about you got to protect your heart también.
Yeah.
Tienes que proteger tu corazón.
So there's that fine line.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. There's the fine line. I'm like, you're giving them opportunities. You're still showing them love. And then Philip Anthony Michael, right? He's another pastor of 2819 Church. He spoke about it too. And it's like, there's a line, and I have the line of love and separation. I can still love you, but I don't have to love you close. I can love you from afar.
Yeah, you don't have to be part of it. And I think that's hard when it's family involved.
I think family's the hardest piece.
Because then you gotta, when you're married, when you have kids, like they become your family, and you kind of have to like step away from, like choosing others is really choosing your family first at that point. But for me, man, my walk really, it's been in like stages. My childhood was really hard. I went through like a really ugly divorce with my parents. I was exposed to a lot of things. I would say, thankfully, the only thing I never really like caught my attention, and I think it was by God's grace, was drugs. Like, I smoked weed a few times that I can remember. Drugs. But not like, it was never like my comfort. That's what I mean. Like, I never searched comfort in drugs or alcohol. I did the typical, teenager. I would party, drink, but it was never like my comfort. Now I think about it, I'm like, man, there are many times that things should have happened to me and they didn't. And that's when I realized, one, God really had a purpose for me. But I think about it, and it really came in stages. I think about all the things. I think I was 28 when I finally realized, all right, my life is kind of messed up. You know, like I went through a lot as a kid. I had to deal with things that I shouldn't have. And then I became a parent at 30 for the first time, you know, with my first child. And that really hit me like, man, I really shouldn't, as a kid, should not have gone through these things that, you know, marked me in the spiritual world. They opened many doors that, you know, eventually they led to a lot of things that I was dealing with as a teenager and adult, you know, like,
and stuff that's hidden,
like depression, like lust was a big one for me. The other one was anxiety. Like when I started dealing with anxiety, like I think that's when I hit rock bottom, and I'm talking about like 2020. Like it got to the point that it took me a minute to understand that it was spiritual, but I would literally go to the doctor once a week because I thought I was having a heart attack. I didn't know what a panic attack was, what anxiety was. But to me, like God has been really, I don't want to say allowed, because I don't think would have wanted for me to go through the things that I went through.
yeah.
But a lot of it was also a result of my decisions and doors that I opened, and that now I understand. And like I said, and that's why it's important to make sure that you give people the benefit of the doubt. Like Christian from 4 years ago, I wouldn't have had the same perspective that I have now. And I think really what I think changed my life was becoming a dad. Like really, that's like I give it to God. I think God waited until I was 30 to become a dad, because that's when he knew I would be ready then. Because I think about it and I'm like, if I would have been a dad at 20, 24, like I was not in a good place emotionally. Like, and now I understand the importance of us as men in particular, that leadership in the spiritual world, not just for us, but for our families, and how bad decisions that I make now that I have the knowledge
Affects everybody.
it just doesn't have an impact on me. It has an impact on my family in the spiritual world. Now, for those of you who don't understand this, I'm more than happy to elaborate. Reach out to me directly. But my journey has been really, it's just a lot of like bad situations exposed to them. You know, I'm okay sharing this. It's fine. You know, like I think the biggest one that it took me until I was 28 to realize, man, I really shouldn't have gone through that. But like, it was an attempt of sexual abuse when I was young. You know, and it was by a close member, a trusted member of the family. Not even a family member. It was just someone they really trusted. And then, you know, this is probably the first time that I openly talk about it, because very few people know about this, but I think it's important for people to know. Sometimes you don't see what others go through, right? And to me, really, like I said, I didn't see it as something that was affecting me, my emotions, my life, until I was 28. I'm like, man, like I went through that, and it's having all these
It's a snowball
negative,
effect.
yeah. And it's like, and when you normalize it, I mean, thankfully nothing happened, but just the fact that it was an attempt a couple of times, and just like not even thinking there was something wrong with that back then. It's like, shoot, you know. And now I remember why my parents were big on no sleepovers for you, which they were very strict. So there was very little room for entrance for this person, and somehow still happened. So now I'm with my kids. For those of you who follow me on social media, I never share their face, especially now with all the AI stuff that's happening. There is a very selected group of people, less than a handful, where I would leave my son. Like, as simple as that. Like, it's just my in-laws, my parents, my sister, and my sister-in-law, and my uncle once needed. So like 5. That's 5. And it's all those people within my circle. Other than that, I'm not saying something bad will happen, but you never know what other people are exposed to. I'm not saying them directly, but let's say you take it to a friend. You don't know what their friends are exposed to. You don't know who's around them.
It's the same thing. It's the same. Now I get my parents, because that was the same way. No sleepovers. If you want to have a sleepover, it has to be at the house.
Yeah, where we're
present. And it was because, and I would always ask him, like, I used to think, I was like, I want to be a normal kid. Why can't I be a normal kid and go have a a sleepover. But now I get it. Now I won't let my son go sleep over. There's, like you said, certain people that I will let him sleep over with. You're one of them.
And unless it's needed, because
yeah.
it hasn't happened yet.
Exactly. You're one of them. My father-in-law, who he's done it once.
Yeah.
And my parents, right?
Yeah.
But then my parents right now, they're not in their own home at the moment. We split. We used to live together, and they're waiting to get back into their old house. It's just rented under contract. So they're not even staying in their own place by themselves. So right now, I don't trust leaving my son overnight, and I'm going to be open about it with them because I don't know who's going in and out of that house. I don't know. Yes, it's family, but at the same time, there's so many visitors. There's so many people that I have no control over who goes there.
Yeah, and I think that's their duty, their parents. And that goes for moms too. But I think for dads, it hits harder because we're trying to lead and kind of set the tone in that sense that I would hate myself if something happens to my son for a decision that I made or that I was okay with. So ultimately, it sucks, but we're protecting. Like,
Yeah.
we do it. And it's crazy what they say. You will not understand some things until you're dad. And that's one of the things. I used to think, but why didn't they let me? My dad and my mom hate me. They don't let me do sleepovers. And I was like, okay, now I get it.
You know what's weird? Okay, so that ties into a little bit into, I guess, my testimony and stuff. Like, I always knew we come from big Catholic families, and we converted over
Hardcore.
to Christian.
I was an altar boy.
Yeah. I used to be in the coro singing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But hardcore. And what throws me off is that, like, it's funny because my parents, shout out to them, but they remember stuff like this where they'd be like, do you remember when you used to tell me that you weren't normal because you wouldn't go and have a sleepover at someone else's house? But they don't remember me going to them and being like, hey, I'm seeing stuff and I'm getting attacked in the middle. I'm like, how are you going to remember one but not the other? But it's the thing, it's like they don't want to acknowledge the spiritual world.
Well, I don't think they know it.
Yeah. And now I see the difference because once I gave my life to Christ and it was a big issue and we would have arguments to it because then it was an issue. And that's one of the things that God tells you. It's like when you start going away from the world, when you start not being a part of the world will hate you for following
100%.
me. But when you're a part of the world, they'll love you.
The old you comes out.
Yeah.
Like, they will judge you by who you wear. And, you know, I've learned to, I get hate by a lot of people. I know people that talk about me, people that are close that they think I don't know. I know they talk about me. And it's like, ultimately, I got to the point where I have to give no explanations to anyone but God. I know what I'm doing as a family man. And trying, and that doesn't mean that we're perfect. That doesn't mean that the battles go away. The enemy knows me. It knows my weaknesses. It knows I crave, I don't want to say attention because attention, it's like very broad, but like appreciation. I crave appreciation. I know at one point
I do too, and you've called it out. You're like, hey, you're not getting the answer you wanted.
Yeah, no. And then I struggle, like I said, the anxiety sometimes wants to come back and take over, the lust piece. And lust can be in many ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be sexual. Like, it can be just desires for something. Like, it could be material things. It could be money. In my case, it was like everything, like all of those things. And the enemy just knows us so well that it tries to come and attack us that way.
I think that's the easiest way to attack men in particular is the lust portion. It could be sexual in the way where it's like you're wherever you're at and something will try to tempt you into falling.
Yeah.
Because always think about it. If one of us falls, like if I fall, that causes a divorce, right? It could or could not, but it could cause a divorce. And then it's like, by taking me out, it won the whole family because everybody's going to be...
It goes all the way around.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
like,
full circle.
Anyone who like fails, then it opens that door for... But I think what it really does is just weakens, that family bond. And ultimately, the enemy is always going to try to... it says in the Bible, it's going to come to steal, to kill, and destroy. So by destroying the head of the house... And I don't mean this in a sexist way. I mean it in the spiritual world. It could open many doors. So it's not like
a threat or
No, what's the word that I'm looking for? It's not a not casualty. That's a different word, but it's not a coincidence that all men get attacked the same way. And it's because the enemy wants to destroy that part, and think about it. I'm huge in fighting until on your marriage until you literally are out of options, because once a marriage is destroyed, like the enemy has served its purpose. That's what it wants. I grew up in a family of parents that got divorced. They didn't have God. They were not following God. They were not seeking Jesus. And I can assure you, the ones that pay the price on a divorce
are the children.
is the kids. At the end of the day, we're responsible for them. Yeah, you can fight for your own happiness. You can do all of those things for your own, but kids pay the price.
And
100%.
And ultimately, I think the enemy is winning in the big sense, especially here in America. Not to get a little bit more political, but I do agree in the way where it's like the government here promotes the splitting of families so much.
Yeah.
It compensates the woman for being a single mom. There's so many ways where it's like the enemy is winning through these things.
And I think one thing that people don't understand, because a lot of people misinterpret when I say stuff like that, because they're like, so you're saying that women can do it alone? I'm like, no, women can. But the more that I dig into it, the more that I talk to women that used to have that mindset of, like, I don't need no man. Like, deep down, they desire, like, a man that will protect them, that will provide, not just financially, like, emotional stability.
Yep. To
like,
offer that peace where it's like you're allowed to tap into your feminine energy,
Yeah, because like I said, I'm not saying women can't do that. Women can work 100%. Just like us men, we can do duties at home, which we do, especially because both of our wives work. My wife part-time now.
We split chores.
But she takes care of her kids.
Yeah.
And now she's more with the kids, and that takes a lot. So I don't see anything wrong with, like, coming home, doing some dishes, cleaning that. I live there.
Yeah, and that's what the argument I'm having with my wife right now is, because I used to be the clean freak. Like, everything had to be tidied away, but I'm learning to let a little bit go. I have a 1-year-old. Like, I have a 1-year-old that the house is not going to be clean no matter how hard you try. Better. Yeah, it's not going to get any better. So it's like, that's what I told her yesterday. I'm like, hey, you're sick. Relax. Take a seat. Like, I'll clean up later. Just enjoy the moment and recover. Get
just
better.
So you know, we love that. We love being able to allow us to, like, handle things,
Yeah.
But no, I agree. I think we live in a society that, like, really rewards that, and at the end of the day, like, I'm not saying nothing wrong against the ones who doesn't. I want to make that clear, because I don't want to get, like, political. I don't want to get, like, going on the extreme of one side, but
because we see both pros and cons of everything. We're not far left, far right, whatever you want to call it, pro-Trump, anti-Trump. Like, we don't believe in none of that. Like, we believe in no one's perfect. There's a balance to everything. There's morals. There's stuff that you don't sacrifice to get to where you want to be, right?
Yeah, I stay off social media for political stuff, because I feel like, well, for one, I can even vote because I'm a resident. I'm not a citizen. And what can you actually do? Like, yeah, you can, like, voice yourself and whatnot, but I think ultimately the direct impact that we can have is what we do in society. Like, how we support each other, how we help each other. I think that's ultimately what it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's like, for us, we're really trying to find a way to be involved in our community and have that direct impact in our community, where we build something into something that we want to see, something that we want our children to be a part of. Because that's ultimately our goal, right? To create an environment where...
Because it's crazy to me. There are so many things that I never crossed my mind until I became a dad. Like, okay, now I have to worry about.
See, I've always wanted to be a dad, and that's where I think the difference for us was, because you were team F them kids.
Yeah, I was like, no kids ever. Like, literally, me and my wife both were like, no, we're never going to have kids.
But I always wanted to be a dad, and when I became a dad, it wasn't the right moment for me, because it wasn't in my plans. And my plans with my wife was, hey, we're going to wait X amount, because we were thinking of starting a business to build something, a legacy for our child. And then it turns out God was like, psych, you thought, here you go.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, now we're just getting thrown into it. But I know it was for a reason. And one of those reasons is to love differently, to take a step back, to not always go, 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 go. It's actually enjoy the time. Like take a step back and
life can change in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And the one thing, shout out to all the single parents that are working out there, parents, and I mean men and women, because it's hard for me and for my wife that we're together. I can only imagine what it's like for single parents. So shout out to you guys. Keep working, keep grinding. We're saying, we're not taking credit away for what you're doing.
No. And we're not trying to attack anybody either.
No.
We want to...
We're sharing our perspective,
our perspective, and not educate, but in the sense like trying to change your mindset. Because that's this whole thing about walking with God, is you have to change your mindset. Because things aren't the way you see them.
You have to be coachable.
Yeah. And that's the same like being an employee, no matter where you're at, you have to be coachable. There's stuff you're not going to like to do.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with here. It's like, oh, I'm not supposed to
do that,
like
hear that, say that.
And like a lot of people are like to me, they're like, why are you drinking? I thought you gave your life to Christ. I'm like, yeah, he doesn't say drinking alcohol is a sin. He says
getting drunk
is a sin. I'm like, I know what my limit is because I did it on my rebellious years. And I'm like, I know if I have 1 or 2 whiskeys, I'm good. It's okay.
And now you know when and where to do it.
Exactly.
Too. So, yeah, I think that's another thing that people misinterpret when you tell them, you believe in Christ now. I used to be that person like, oh, they messed up their entire life and now they're just trying to fix it by saying they're Christians and believe in God. And that's actually the purpose. Yeah. Like, think about a hospital. A hospital is not for healthy people. It's for those that need the attention. And I think, unfortunately and sadly enough,
and it's a whole healing process.
Yeah, if you don't have like parents who led you in that Christ life, it's not easy. You have to hit either rock bottom, bad things need to happen to you,
or you just get tired of what you're living.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was for me. Like I was having spiritual battles since I was young, but because of brujeria, witchcraft,
but you didn't know it was a spiritual battle.
But I didn't know what that was. To me, it was like se me subió el muerto, and I see things in my room. I was literally dying, and they took me to the hospital, and they didn't know what was going on until they took me to a witch doctor, and to them cleaned me. But in reality, it was just another door that opened. It was just another door that got opened, another battle that I have to fight now. But now it's like I got so tired of I was throwing myself into alcohol, into drugs, into stuff like that to cope. I was like, you could ask ex-friends of mine, or not ex-friends, they're still friends, but we don't have the same path anymore.
Yeah.
I love them. I will speak to them. I will try to, but I'm like, but we're not walking the same path. So I'm going to love them from a distance. And if they want to follow the same path I'm on, I'm more than happy to speak about it. I'm more than happy to give them consejos.
Advice. For those of you who don't speak Spanish.
Guide them in this way. I'm no teacher. I don't know everything, but I know from my experiences, right? I know from what I've lived. And from what I read and what I continue to learn every single day.
And with that, it goes the testimony. I think the things that we go through, even though some of those things are consequences of our actions, our testimony plays a huge impact. It could play an impact on somebody else's life.
Yeah.
And some people, they do better by just reading the Bible. Some people do better with just prayer. Some people, they do better, and by doing better, I mean, it helps them understand what it's like to walk with God. To me, like I said, it was hearing somebody else's testimony. Just hearing, man, what I've been going through my entire life, it happens more often than what you can think of. And a lot of people deal with it. And a lot of people don't say anything. And a lot of people don't understand what's going on. So it's not just me. It gives you comfort to then be like, all right, if this person was able to make it, and get better, then I can make it. I mean, I'm telling you, it got to the point that I thought I was supposed to die. Like, and this was back when I got my green card approved back in 2020. And it happened so quick that instead of my mindset being like, oh, like this was God's grace, like I had been denied, and I was in a process for 7 years. And then the last thing that I could do in order to get it, my lawyer was like, this is the last resource. If this doesn't go through, you're done. Unfortunately, it could take as little as a year, but it could take up to 5 years. So I was like, okay, shoot. I almost didn't want to do it because I'm like, I'm going to spend this extra money, not know if it's going to happen. They could come and get me at any time. But the long story short on that is a month later, I get approval. Mm-hmm. I get my green card. And it was during that stage of going through depression, anxiety, that I literally thought I was going to die. And the reason why I got my green card approved is because I was supposed to go say bye to my mom and my family in Mexico. So then I could die. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, I was going through it. People didn't know. Like, people saw me and they would never guess, what it's like that I was going through a depression, that I was going through, like, all these, like, I'm gonna die type of thing, Yeah. And that just should tell you, like, one, don't judge the book by its cover, and then two, like, things could change.
Yep.
Like, the fact that you're hitting rock bottom, it doesn't mean it's always going to be like that. I mean, I was at the point where I was not sleeping. I would get sleep paralysis, as most of you know it, which now I understand it was a spiritual attack. I was not feeling good. Nothing would make me happy. Like, it didn't matter what I would accomplish at work, at home, nothing will fulfill me. Nothing. And I was doing a lot of things, like at work, outside of work, a lot of not okay things that I thought that were fulfilling, but in reality, they did nothing. Like, nothing. So
they make the void bigger.
Yeah, and you don't know it. Like, because all you know is you're just trying to cope and find a solution to how you feel, when in reality, it should be looking for God. But I didn't have anyone. I didn't have my parents tell me, hey, when you feel like this, seek God, like, rely on Him. And like I said, for me, I had to hit rock bottom.
For me, it was, but the way, it was in a different sense. It wasn't like a genuine seek for God, because, again, it was Catholic, right? Mm-hmm. And all the ideals, everything we learned was completely, not opposite, but it was different, right? It was more of a pray this many rosemaries. And it's like, that doesn't really do anything, right? You genuinely, and God tells you, like, I barely was able to read my Bible. I would always say, like, yeah, read it, but it'd just be Psalm 91.
And leave it open.
Yeah, leave it open on Psalm 91. But it's like, when I started reading, I'm like, God literally tells us, if you come with a genuine heart and you seek Him, you will find Him. If you knock, He will answer. If you ask, He will give you, right? Everything from a genuine place, like a genuine, ¿cómo se dice? With good intentions, Like, if you're genuinely looking for Him, you will find it.
Yeah.
He will give it to you. He will answer you. And that's one of the things, because I felt the same way. And that's one of the things I had to, because your uncle pointed it out. It's like, hey, when you pray that He shows you in the times where you felt like you were the most alone, He was there.
And that's true. I'm telling you, there are times that now I think about it, I'm like,
dude, and I thought I
died right there.
Exactly. I'm the same way. Like, I was in El Salvador with the gun pointed at me by a gang member, and I should have died that day.
Yeah, it was in Mexico for me with a knife.
Yeah, and I did not die that day. I got in a motorcycle wreck going 70, no helmet. I should have died that day. I walked away with no broken bones. I only had bruised lungs, but I was at work and I was at the gym 3 days later. I couldn't breathe, but God saved me from dying those days.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's also another thing that, it helps me, at least to me, is like, all right, there's a purpose for me. I still don't know entirely what that is, but I can assure you my journey in the past 4 years, it's been a roller coaster. It's been ups and downs. Like I said, what I'm telling you, it doesn't mean that I'm perfect. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that I don't struggle. If anything, one thing that I will say, that it's another misconception, is once you give your life to Christ, because I don't even want to say once you become a Christian, because we're not religious. We don't think about stuff like this in a religious way. It's really a relationship with God. But once you live your life to Christ, Shit, I forgot. Shoot, I forgot where I was going.
It's not easy. It gets.
It,
People
oh yeah,
think
yeah.
it gets
Yeah,
easier,
so
but it
people
doesn't.
think that once you live your life through Christ is like, oh, like, you know, it's all rainbows, but that's when the battle starts.
Because now the enemy's like, I'm losing this guy. He's
I
really
need to
gonna fight for you.
I need to fight, and I am gonna put up a battle, and I'm gonna make things happen. Now, what's the difference? Because you might think, then why should I even bother?
Yeah.
What's the difference? I need to have God, and now you have like
Backing.
you understand, you see things different.
You know
And-
how to fight things that you before you didn't know how to fight it.
Yeah.
Like before, I remember like if you felt something or if you saw something, and this is where I'm proud of my mom, because once I gave my life, she started perceiving things differently. Because the enemy would try to attack her because of the stuff we were fighting, spiritual battles for everybody
Yeah, and the enemy will use the people around you
to get to you
to fight you.
Yeah, and that's one of the things where it's like before, and this is a common misconception. It's if you feel something, si ves al muerto, cuss them out, and they will leave. That's not the case.
That's not real.
No, that's not real. You think it works, but that's not genuinely how it works.
Yeah, and we don't want to get too graphic, but for those of you who believe that someone who died is your guardian angel or that you see them, just so you know, it's not them.
It's
and
not
that's
them.
where I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Hopefully, we can develop more in depth
And if you have questions, please
reach out to us individually.
or leave a comment if you want us to get more in depth.
Yeah.
If you actually want us to speak more about it.
Because it's not. And it says it in the Bible. You know, we're not supposed to make an image of what's above or below, and you know those
And
who
that
are
can look-
dead. We cannot be in.
It's
contact
literally
with
forbidden
them,
that we cannot get in contact with them.
that we try.
Yeah.
Because I mean, one, it's not a thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Because,
But-
yeah, that and then idolatry. There's so many different ways you can get into it. And that's something you don't start learning until you genuinely start seeking.
Yeah. So we're learning.
Until you're open to actually look for the answers. And even if you don't like them, because trust me, I didn't like some of the answers I found.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes when you don't hear what you want, it's like, ugh. So these videos are not like to like almost like make you feel like, oh, we know everything, and that's what. No, like we're sharing our journey. We're sharing what we've been through, so that for those of you who are kind of going through, or kind of feel like there is no way out,
Or want to.
you hopefully hear our stories, and you're like, all right, there's hope.
Because that's one thing, like, that's one thing I think why we moved here in the neighborhood where we're at. Is my wife has her best friend that lives in this neighborhood, and I'm really cool homies with her husband, who's an awesome electrician. If you guys need an electrician, let me know. I will pass him your contact. But her family's Christian, he's Catholic. And it's funny because I see it now from my different perspective after going through it. He's like, dude, I got attacked by the devil the other night. And I'm like, what do you mean you got attacked by the devil? He's like, we went to our Christian church for the first time. He's like, and I saw a difference between this and Catholic church. It's completely different. And I thought the same thing. When I went to my first Christian church, I was like, dude, this is like the movies de los negritos. Everybody's like singing and dancing. But he's like, but that night, I saw a demon standing. I literally saw the devil standing there.
Yeah.
Attacking me.
Yeah.
He's like, I've never had that ever experience in my life. And I'm like, that's how you know you're doing something.
You have discernment in
I'm
a
like,
way.
if you've never seen it ever before and you take one step in the right direction and now you're experiencing something, that's how you know you're going the right way. Denzel Washington said this, right? The devil doesn't attack you. What was, damn it. No, it left me. You know which one? Where he's like, if you are being attacked, it's because you know you're going the right direction.
I mean, think about it. Like, when you are, what's a great way to put it? Like,
If nothing is happening.
gang members, right? Mm-hmm. When you're in the same gang, your own people will not attack. Your own homies will not attack you. Mm-hmm. What happens if you join the other gang?
Mm-hmm. Or you're in the wrong neighborhood, or
They're gonna rebel against you. So that's kind of what happens in the spiritual world when the enemy knows it's losing you, it's losing your soul. There's gonna be a battle. So for those of you who, because I feel like that also pushes a lot of people away when they're like, I started seeking God and it got worse. that's a good sign. Don't look at it as never mind. I need to go back.
The calm before the storm, or whatever, or whatever. Well, what's that? It is the calm before the storm, right?
You need to come prepared with the things because you're.
Dude, I definitely do. But it's like, but this is what I like about this podcasting, because everything's coming to me as we go, and this is how
we have nothing scripted.
Because we have general topics, right? So it's like cool. Today it's like we were talking about our testimony and our walk with God, and that's
bullet points.
Yeah, and everything. It's like cool. As we go, it starts developing, and it gets more and more and more and more.
Yeah. So hopefully, or like I said, I don't think I got with me in depth, but at least kind of sharing like. My life has been tough. I've made mistakes. I'm not perfect. I'm the first one to acknowledge that now. My battles are not over. I still battle, and it gets harder.
And sometimes, and just so you know, we're super close, but our battles are different.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're the same. And that's why we wanted to do this, because it's like maybe your battles is the same that we're going through.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's different, but there's always ways where we help each other.
Or maybe you don't know you're going through a battle, and now you're hearing us talk, and you're like, oh, shoot,
That's what that
going
is?
through a battle. So, yeah, like I said, we're no perfect. Like I said, I know my mistakes. God knows my mistakes. My family knows mine, and I think ultimately what it comes to is like, how can I get better? And how do we get better? And like I said, I can stress this enough, apply this with everyone. We're not the same person that we were X amount of years ago. Like, give people the benefit. You don't know what they might be going through. You don't know what's in their heart. You don't know what's in their mind. You don't know what's in their life. Like, sometimes one thing that I think helped me a lot to grow and be a hard believer of that is when I was at my last job at the bank, when I changed my management style more to the human side. Like, I stopped looking at them as my employees. It was like, I want to hear more about this person as a human. And it clicked, because then it helped me understand a lot of things. Like, because sometimes you don't know when someone's going through a bad day, when someone's having a hard time at home. And I know some people believe in like, well, suck it up, this is work. But at the end of the day, we're all humans. And one lesson that I learned is that, like, looking at the human side of everybody, because then it also helps you understand things in a different way. I think apply that rule not just at work in general. Think of people as like show love, like the love that Jonathan was talking. And if you need to step back and step away from those people, that doesn't mean you need to stop loving them or hating them or support them. But sometimes you just gotta distance yourself and protect yourself, because ultimately,
and it's not selfish, because I think it's the same way. It's the same way with the walk with God, and that's one thing that I'm starting to learn more. It's his relationship with God won't save me.
It's individual.
I'm the only one that can save myself, and I'm the only one that can create that relationship with him.
Here's the crazy part: your mistakes can have an impact on your family, on your kids, on your wife, on your home. So that's why this walk is hard. It's not easy, just because the good things that you do or the individual relationship has an impact directly. It might have an indirect impact on the people around you, but it definitely, the negative has more impact. So that's why, now I whenever like bad thoughts, or like when the enemy tries to plant the seed of the things that I know I struggle with, now that discernment comes. It's like, no, like that doesn't feel right. Like, now I fight it. Before, it used to be just like, just go with it, do it, ask for forgiveness later.
And sometimes you just catch it on the go.
Yeah, like, and sometimes it takes longer to catch it.
Yeah, because I've noticed now it's like, sometimes I catch the enemy coming back in the places that used to be weak spots.
Yeah.
Right? And then sometimes it'll go quiet, and then out of nowhere, boom, boom, boom.
Like, boom, right hook, left
Why do you
hook.
think that big thing, it's, dude, when I'm single, no one's hitting me up. But as soon as I have a girlfriend, all these girls are hitting me up.
Temptation.
That temptation, that's the enemy. That's one tiny battle you don't understand.
So, man, you're not alone.
Yeah.
Fight it. Keep fighting it. And
for women, it's the same thing.
Flee from it. I think
women, it's more
emotional. For women, is like attention. Like, and I think that's why I said divorces. Once a divorce happened, a woman has been checked out for months, is because emotionally she prepares herself and doesn't say anything, and it's just like, she either finds that attention somewhere else, right? Whereas for us men, it could be more like a physical stuff or a physical touch where it's like instant and that's our way to connect. Men and women connect different. And I think people need to understand that. And we all have different love languages. And one mistake that I did for the longest time was I would act with my wife based on my love language until I had to realize what's her love language. What do I need to do? Because I'm not seeing results. And it's like, man, like it was that easy. Like, why didn't I think about this before? I'm acting based on what I'm expecting to receive for me. But it should be
the opposite.
Yeah, because you gotta give yourselves up for each other.
And that's another thing where everybody uses, it's like, cool, wives submit to your husbands. And this is what I'm ended on. Wives submit to your husbands. And I always see a lot of women, why am I supposed to submit? Blah, 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 blah. But then they keep talking
in a macho man
yeah.
way. We're talking in a...
But then it goes again into, and husbands submit to your wives.
Yeah.
Right? So we're supposed to do the same. And it's not easy. I'm still learning.
It's going to be an ongoing. And it's because we don't have a perfect marriage.
No, we don't.
We still struggle.
We go good and then we have arguments but what? We got to overcome it. We got to come together and fight it together.
Yeah.
Because ultimately a house united cannot be broken, but a house that's split is easy to be divided even more.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the end of the day, I think one thing that we hear now in society is like, well, if you're not happy, just leave, find your happiness. And I really wish people would understand that.
Sorry, guys. They came to fix my garage door because it broke as we shut up.
All right, back to it. Sorry we took a little break there, but can't remember where we were. We're talking just about, like, in general, how...
our marriages aren't perfect.
No, and we're working on it individually, that relationship with God, and we shouldn't be working on stuff and doing things expecting the change in others. It should always be on us. And I mean, in the Bible, I think we're talking about that, like husbands or wives submit to your husband, husbands submit to your wife. It's mutual. It goes both ways. And I mean, and a man is supposed to love his wife like Christ loved the church. And I think what that means is, for us as men, we're not going to get what we expect all the time. And that's what carrying our cross means. Like, it's going to be hard at times. There's going to be times that we don't feel rewarded by our wives, that we don't feel recognized by them. But at the end of the day, it is our job to continue and be consistent. And because it's easy to walk away. And I think one thing that I wanted to mention is happiness. It's a move backwards because you're going to be in a different... You're going to be more forward, might be focused on you and not me. But it's like happiness is just an emotion. It's a feeling. It's temporary. So when people say, I find it hard to, wrap my head around now. Before I used to be like, yeah, like if you're not happy, leave, dude. Yeah. Leave, man. Like,
I was the same way.
And now it's like, happiness is just a feeling. You might not feel happy right now, and then you might go somewhere else, find that happiness. But what that's going to create in your brain is like, the moment that you don't feel happy there, what's going to be your instinct?
Leave again.
Leave and look for it elsewhere. So I think you cannot...
And it changes once you have children.
Yeah, and
because then they suffer from that as well.
Exactly. They pay the consequences. But I think that's the thing. Once you have a marriage and once you understand that you're actually trying, I think that happiness is not going to be there all the time.
And sometimes it's a one-sided battle. Sometimes you are fighting more than your partner is. And I'm telling you this from experience. My wife gave her life to God before I did. And she was fighting both of our battles before I did, before I gave my life.
Yeah. So it's just that piece, is like always being there. Like, one thing that I stand by is it's easy to be with someone
through the good times.
Through the good times. It's through the hard times that you really can take your marriage or your relationship or even as an individual to the next level, because that's what's going to define. That's what's going to build you. That's what's going to strengthen you. The hard times. So always keep that in mind. I mean, just throwing it out there. Happiness is just it's an emotion. It's a feeling. It comes and goes.
And if you want to have a conversation with us, hit us up.
Yeah, and one thing that I do, and you tell me if I'm wrong, women, right? I don't want to assume, but I think men are led by common, or not common sense, because we all have common sense.
That's sexist.
But we all driven, like us men, we're driven by like just what makes sense logically on the spot. And women are driven more by emotion and by, like, you ladies go more in depth. And for us, it's just like, all right, what's the face, what's the front of it, and how can we phase that?
That's the way we think. It's like we're problem solvers. Cool.
Yeah.
And that's why we get in a lot of arguments with our wives at the same time, because it's.
I don't like the word arguments, because at least for me, no, it wouldn't apply.
It's more of when they go like, you don't understand the way I feel, but sometimes we don't understand that. Sometimes all they need is an ear to listen, right? Because if they come to us with a problem,
our instinct is like,
initially we're like, boom, this is a solution, and then it's like that's not what they needed.
I mean, my wife told me straight up one time. She's like, and I practice now. Listen, guys, this might be helpful tip for you guys. My wife used to come to me with a problem, and immediately my reaction would be, all right, well, have you tried this? Have you done that? And it literally took years, I would say like 9 years of knowing each other, to be like, I'm not asking you for a solution. I just need you to hear me out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, shoot.
And it's something that's hard to put into practice, because I try to do it, but sometimes it's hard.
No, now what I do whenever she's telling me something is like, all right, do you need me to hear you out, or do you need me to bring a solution? Because then if she tells me, I just need you to hear me out, boom, I can get my mind off thinking of solutions as she's speaking to me, and I can just focus on feeling, okay.
And sometimes
let it out.
You just got to bite your tongue.
Out, baby girl.
Sometimes you just got to bite your tongue. Because even though I try to do that, in my head it's like, I have the solution that'll fix this instantly.
If you try this.
But I don't want to say it because I don't want to start something.
If they're telling us straight up, like, hey, like, I just need you to hear me out. So guys, try that. Next time or the problem comes up, your wife brings your problem, your wife, your girlfriend, your partner.
And sometimes it's both,
Yeah, just ask, like, all right, baby girl, do you want me to hear you out, or do you want me to bring a solution? Because it's in our nature. We're problem solvers. We're always going to try to fix things for you and take it off your plate so you don't have to go through it.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just need someone to hear you out. Yeah. So.
And sometimes it's both. Sometimes they'll be like, I just need you to hear me out. And then later on they come by, hey, by the way, do you have anything that might solve this issue? And then you get to apply the other piece to it too.
Yeah.
So patience.
But other than that, I mean.
And I learned something new. So with this podcast, I guess when this one comes out, I started doing it on the second one that I just found out. Like I said, it's a learning process. We're going to let you guys go, so it's not extremely long. But now,
I want to keep it in a way that it's entertaining and you don't get like, oh,
bored.
I still got 2 hours to go on this.
But now, if you click above Christian's head, you're going to be able to subscribe to our channel. And if you click right here where my stomach is, you'll get to go and check out yesterday or last week's episode. So please, if you haven't seen it, go ahead, click right down below and go check out that episode. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share.
This is for you guys. And I know today we got more on the spiritual side, but we're literally talking about our path in general. Like, we've talked about work, we've talked about family, we've talked about our, walk with Christ. So you let us know what
and
you
we'll
want
have
to
some
talk
fun.
About. We're open, we'll do some fun stuff too.
Yep.
So
maybe next episode will be in Paris or something.
We don't have
a budget, but hopefully.
We can't afford a table, but we can afford a trip to Paris.
Yep.
No, I like
Paris, Mexico.
In Las Vegas.
Mexico's cheaper.
$60 round trip,
yep.
With Spirit, even though Spirit doesn't fly out of Denver anymore. But yeah, guys, leave us feedback. We're open. Let us know how much we suck. Let us know how much you hate the podcast, the video. We're growing thick skin. We'll take it and we'll make it better. We're gonna apply what we talked about.
Yes, sir.
But other than that, I think that can wrap it up.
That's the legacy table.
Without a table.
It's
Jonathan N.
Christian.
The brothers in.
Roofing.
Till next time.
See you guys.